and Barack Obama. This idea that Virginia is in play doesn't seem quite right to me. Now, I don't understand this. How could Virginia be in play with the number 1 and number 3 most liberal senators in the United States Senate? How could Virginia be in play for people who openly avow doing away with the Defense of Marriage Act? That's a law Bill Clinton signed into being. It says that if Massachusetts and Connecticut decide to allow marriage between same-sex couples, people in Virginia and South Carolina are not bound by that. You know what? I like that law. I don't want Massachusetts and Connecticut deciding how we will live in Virginia and South Carolina. That is radically liberal. Now, where liberalism and ends and socialism begins, I can't tell you. But I can tell you this, Barack Obama is incredibly liberal. We live in difficult economic times, right? Now is not the time to raise your taxes or increase the size of the federal government. Does anybody believe that the federal government has been shorted? Does anybody believe that we don't have enough of your money? Does anybody believe that there's a such thing as help for the middle class and everybody else has to pay? We're all in it together. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand that Senator Obama comes from the far left lane of politics. Not just the left lane of politics. I mean a man that could not muster the courage to vote yes for a bill that would allow medical care to a child that survived an abortion. You know, everything about his political career has been out of the mainstream. And we're not going to let him pull a fraud on the American people. He will spend your money faster than you can make it. He will grow this government and change the culture of this country in a way that runs contrary to where Virginia is today and where Virginia wants to go tomorrow. Now, it's up to Virginia and South Carolina and every other state to make a wise choice here. Now, the main thing I'm here to tell you is that Senator Warner has lived a full, rich life. By South Carolina standards, he's in a midlife crisis. I replaced Strom Thurmond. In my state, he's got 3 more terms left in it. I hate it when young people bail out of politics. But I want you to understand what this election is coming down to right now, folks. It's about whether or not we get this economy jump-started and get off our knees financially. And if we send $1 more of your money to Washington, D.C. in the name of compassion, we're going to break the back of business, and some of you are going to lose your jobs. If we go down the road charted by Barack Obama socially, then the whole culture of this community is going to change. If we did what he said to do with Iraq, we'd have a war bigger than we have today. We're winning this war. And John McCain understood how to win this war. So what I want you to do, I want you to remember this. Do you trust Barack Obama and Joe Biden to say no to Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid? Well, you better tell every neighbor you got. And you tell these young people registering to vote, their future's on the line too. Please let everybody in your community know how important it is to vote. Acorn is not going to steal this election if we have anything to do about it. What's going on out there is very disturbing. So that means people like us, mainstream middle America, the heart and soul of Virginia, we got to run it up here, Bob. We just can't win by a little bit here. We got to win by a lot here. And that means getting out to vote. Now, I'm going to read something to you from Joe Biden. Y'all remember Jack Murtha, the Pennsylvania congressman? Yeah. He couldn't be with us today. He has a disease called foot and mouth disease. And I just left Pennsylvania, and Murtha said a couple of weeks ago that the reason it's so close in Pennsylvania is that people in western Pennsylvania basically are racist, and that's why they're not supporting Senator Obama. Then he apologized. He said, well, they're not racist, they're just a bunch of rednecks. That's an apology. Here's what I want to tell you. If you're uncomfortable with Senator Obama's liberal policies when it comes to taxing and spending and social values and who they put on the Supreme Court, there's nothing wrong with you. Don't feel guilty. You're basing your vote based on policies that are out of sync with where you want to take the country. But here's something you need to remember about who's going to be your next president. We live in an incredibly dangerous world. There are people out there that Senator Warner knows better than anybody else in the Senate that are wishing us harm. They're watching this election. And every now and then, Joe Biden, who has a lot to say, makes some sense. Here's what he said 2 days ago. Mark my words, it will not be 6 months before the world tests Barack Obama like they did John Kennedy. The world is looking. Joe, you're right. We're about to elect a brilliant 47-year-old senator president of the United States of America. Biden was quoted telling a fundraiser in Seattle, remember, I said it standing here. If you don't remember anything else I said, watch. We're going to have an international crisis, a generated crisis, to test the mettle of this guy. Joe finally got something right. Amen. That is a real possibility. If you don't remember anything else I tell you today, remember this. That when John McCain becomes President of the United States, you'll have the most qualified person to be Commander-in-Chief since Eisenhower. And that our enemies know that. There's been no person tested more throughout their life than John McCain. So for the sake of these young people, make sure that America doesn't get tested by our enemies. Make sure you elect someone that will pass on a future to them that is bright as the one that you received by your parents. Make sure this country and this state called Virginia clings to the values that have stood the test of time. Now is not the time to get in the left ditch in American politics. Now is the time to elect somebody who understands the heart and soul of America, who has been willing to die for this country, who is not afraid to tell Republicans what they don't want to hear, who will tell Nancy Pelosi and Harry Reid, you're not going to increase spending and raise taxes on my watch. Someone who can look our enemies in the eye, and they will know not to test this man. God bless you.